Hey guys, it's Linux Benchmarks here, and I am finally back from my, say, around 10 days of having COVID, and now that has passed, basically, I only have like a slight cough now. It's back to making, videos on this channel. And so one of the videos that I've been wanting to make over the past couple of, like, I would say the past week actually, has been to make a install guide for EndeavourOS, I have been using EndeavourOS as my main distro of choice for the past, I would say around the past week. I was like, you know what, I should try an Arch-based distro and just, try and use Arch, or, just at least an Arch-based distro for as long as possible, and just see how it works, and if I really do enjoy it, give a video on it. So that's what I'm doing. So just going to be a video of how to install EndeavourOS in 2024. Of course, before the video starts, if you want to give a like on this video, and if you want to do even more, you can definitely subscribe to the channel. I know there's a lot of people that watch these videos and they aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you want, please, if you want to subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what EndeavourOS is. It is a Arch-based distro, so there's a lot of different Arch-based distros. There's like EndeavourOS, there's Zero Linux, that's another one, but EndeavourOS tries to be a very lightweight Arch-based distro, I would say, but with focusing on using the terminal as the main way of installing different packages, which is not, you don't have to do that as I did. I've installed like pamac, which allows me to install like Flatpak applications and stuff through a GUI instead of having to do it through the terminal, even though terminal is definitely a good way. I've been using the terminal as much as possible when it comes to installing any type of packages through like the AUR or just the Arch repository. But yeah, EndeavourOS tries to be a lightweight Arch-based distro, with focusing on installing packages through the terminal. So, if you are persuaded and you want to install EndeavourOS, where do you download it? Well, you would just go to EndeavourOS.com and you would want to go down to the download page. And this is basically the current ISO it ships with, which is, as you can see here, like some of the packages that are like included with this ISO, which is Mesa 23.2, Firefox 119, the Calamaris 23.11 installer, and then the Linux kernel 6.6. So, and the Xorg server, which is 21.1.9. So obviously these packages aren't the newest. I forgot to say here also the NVIDIA driver, the 545 driver. But like I said, these packages aren't the newest packages, which is like what I said. They create an ISO like every couple of months, and we have two download options here. You can choose the magnet or the torrent. So if you have the torrent, it's just going to download the torrent file, and if you have the magnet, this will just open it directly into your torrent application that you're using. There is a mirror list here, so if you don't want to do a torrent download, you can choose your country of choice to just download it directly from a server. I don't think, yeah, Australia isn't a option, so I would probably just choose the torrent, honestly, as there probably is some good seeders. But after you download it, you want to choose your, your flashing application, which for me is going to be the KDE ISO image writer. There is like the other one that is available on FlatHub. Of course, Impression, that's the one. Impression is a nice GTK application for flashing ISOs on a USB stick. And also, if you don't want to flash it on a flasher or whatever, you can do it on VENTOY. That is another great piece of software that it gets installed on your USB stick, and you can just chuck a bunch of different ISOs on it of different distros, and then you can just boot off that. Download the torrent, you flash it on, like for me it would be the KDE ISO image writer, and then after that you just want to plug it into your computer, laptop. For me it's going to be my Acer laptop as per usual, and yeah, you just want to boot into it. Alright, and now as we can see here, we are now booted into the live USB of EndeavourOS. It does say here, select a driver for your Realtek 8168 Ethernet card. So we're just going to use the 69 default one because that is perfectly normal for me. I don't have any issues with that. So we can start the installer, and also you want to connect to the internet. You probably want to choose the online mode so you can pick your desktop environment, as I did choose an offline mode, but I was having some issues with using Wayland on EndeavourOS, as it was missing some packages that were needed needed, and I couldn't figure that out, so I am doing a reinstall right now after actually recording the video that I did before. But we are now into the EndeavourOS installer, so we just want to click next. We want to click Melbourne for me, and then we want to do our keyboard, and then this is where we can pick our desktop environment. So we're going to choose Plasma KDE, but you can choose some of the other desktop environments, like GNOME is a pretty good one that I'd recommend as well if you want something that's a bit unique. There is XFCE if you are like your laptop doesn't run that fast and you need something very lightweight, then XFCE could definitely be for you. And there's also Mate, there's Budgie, AlexQt, AlexDE, and then i3WM. But for us, we're going to pick the Plasma KDE, and then we can have a look through the packages that it's going to install for us. So there is going to be some things that I'm going to deselect here, like the K-Wallet, as I don't need K-Wallet, and also like the calculator and the KDE Connect. I don't use those at all on my desktop. And then there's also some other things like the EndeavourOS packages if you want those. And then as you can look here, we can have a look through the desktop base and the common packages. And that seems all fine to me. There's nothing that I would remove from here, as I don't really know specifically what I would remove from there, like what I don't need. And then next one is bootloader. So you got the systemd boot, which is what I'm going to choose. If you do have, let's say Windows installed, systemd actually does work with that. So there should be an extra option for you to boot into Windows. But if you like grub, as I know grub is used basically on like almost every other Linux distro, then you should just select grub. But for me, I'm going to choose systemd as there's nothing else installed in this. There's no other operating systems, and we are going to erase the disk as well, as there's nothing really to hide, I would say. I don't have anything installed on this. I never do. It's only for just watching content, as I usually say, is I just watch movies and TV shows. And as you can see here, everything else is ready, so we can just click install now. And all right, as you can see here, EndeavourOS has finished installing, so now we can just click restart now, and then after this is all done, shutting down, I'm going to unplug the USB stick. All right, and now we have finally made it into the into the desktop environment of EndeavourOS, and we do have a welcome screen here. So this is where we can configure a lot of different things. So we can update our mirrors. So we're going to do that first, as that's very important that we update these, as we can get into errors when we start to try and do like an Arch update, or if we try to install a specific package. Those packages will come up with errors when trying to like grab it from a specific repository. So we just want to select our country. I actually just select worldwide, as with Australia, it seems like updates seem to roll out a bit slower. I noticed when searching for updates, that just updates just took a bit longer. So I just select worldwide. You can keep all the other things to the default. But as you can see here, it's just going to go through and rank each mirror, and then after it's done ranking these mirrors, it's going to save it for you, which is where you type in your password, and then that's it. And as you can see here, it created a new text file for us for the best servers for worldwide. We just want to save, type in our password, and then we want to update the EndeavourOS mirrors, which is for specific things like the GUI application that we're using right now, just to update that so that we get correct updates. All right, and now that that's all done, we can do our first system update. So this one here will use the yay command. It's a way of installing packages and updating packages. I use it on the daily when running EndeavourOS on my main desktop, but this will just open up a window for you so that you don't have to type the command, even though the command is actually like super easy and it's insanely fast. That I've noticed, like doing like updates with yay, it's just way faster than like on like Fedora. It's probably on the same speed as like APT, but it's definitely like really fast, like, which I have been enjoying like a lot. All right, and now that our update is finally installed, it's telling us to reboot our laptop, so that's what I'm going to do. And one of the great things that I would say about Arch Linux is that when you do an update, you don't have to actually go and restart and do the update, it's already installed for you. So it's not like with Fedora, because I know Fedora does this, where it tries to do something similar to Windows, where you restart and then it applies the update. While on Arch, it's just it applies the update, and then when you reboot, you have those updates already installed. So you don't have to sit there and just like watch it do the update. You just reboot and you're done. Now there is a couple more things in here. There's a package cleanup configuration. You can configure the EOS update notifier. You can also change the display manager. I haven't done that before, so if you want to, switch to like GDM or LightDM or LXDM, you can definitely do that. But since we're on KDE, we want to use the SDDM display manager. We can also choose the EndeavourOS default wallpaper, which is this one right here, as you're seeing, which I personally don't like, but you can choose other ones. I know they do have some really nice EndeavourOS wallpapers. You can download more here, and this will just open up a terminal window to download the latest EndeavourOS wallpapers. Of course, if you are a bit like stuck or confused of what things like how things work, you can choose the tips page. We can go to package management, the AUR and YAY, the firewall information, hardware and network, Bluetooth, the video users, forum tips, EndeavourOS and ARM, tutorial for personal commands, and personal commands drag and drop. So there's a lot of different things here. So if you do you do have issues, you can definitely go through this. I will touch on some of these things throughout the video of like how to install certain things, how to use certain commands, which is what we are going to go into next. Is some of the packages that are missing in EndeavourOS, which is the Flatpak XGG desktop portals. I know that the XGG desktop portals regular one is installed, but there is some theming issues that still happen when you do use Flatpak. So that's one that we have to install, is the XGG desktop KDE version and the GTK version. And why I say the GTK one is because of a font issue in the Flatpak application. So when you have a Flatpak application that's based in GTK, it has some font issues where it looks like anti-aliasing is just turned off, so it's really sharp. And that's an issue. So the fix for it is just to install the XGG desktop portal GTK package, and that completely solves it. And then the other one, which is for KDE, which is that like just Flatpak applications just look really odd, or also with certain windows. So like if you install OBS Studio and you try to share your screen, or if you use a specific Flatpak application like Desktop, which is a Discord application for screen sharing that also uses the XGG desktop portal, that won't work because it's requiring the Qt version of the XGG desktop portal KDE version package. So to install these, we need to do YAY, and then we can basically just either search XGG desktop portal, and that will bring up a list of packages that we can choose from. So you also have like the AUR here, but we're going to choose just from the official repositories because that's where you should get it from. So as you can see here, there's XGG desktop portal KDE and XGG desktop portal GTK. So we just want to select 5 and 4, and then it will install them for us. And then also we are going to need to install Flatpak. So of course you don't have to use Flatpak. You can just use the applications that are provided through the official repositories and the AUR. That's what I've been doing for the majority of the case, but I still install Flatpak just in case, because as I know there is a lot of applications in the FlatHub repository that are the official maintained versions, which I'd rather have because I get faster updates, even though that I'll have like extra dependencies installed. As I know that's one of the things some people rant about with Flatpak is there's a lot of dependencies that get installed that they don't actually are gonna use, and they instead choose like a system package. But for me personally, I like using Flatpak for some applications like OBS, for example, so I can use browser docs, even though I know there's a package in the AUR, but it doesn't work properly. So I use the Flatpak version. But for majority of my applications like GPU screen recorder and stuff, I'll try and use the AUR version, or if it's available in the official Arch repositories, I'll try to use that. But yeah, you just want to install Flatpak, the XGG desktop portals, and then that's basically it for Flatpak applications. Wayland isn't installed on EndeavourOS either, so we're going to have to install the Wayland Wayland session. So you just want to search Wayland session, and then there should be an option to install it for the KDE Plasma desktop. So there, it's on extra, and then you will have Wayland. So you can easily log out and switch to it if you want to use Wayland. And one of the other things is that if you're on AMD or Intel and you want hardware acceleration in like Firefox, for example, which I do, I use VAPI for hardware acceleration, then you're going to need the libva mesa package, which will allow you to get hardware acceleration. As I noticed, this wasn't installed by default. So if we do search yay libva, it should show up if we have a look around here. And as you can see here, it is libva mesa driver. So it's just like 4. I'm pretty sure, you know, if you want the VAPI implementation, there is one for NVIDIA, and I'm pretty sure there's one for Intel, as we can see here. Or if you just look around, there it is right there. So I don't know if you need that. You might just need libva mesa driver for Intel as well. But if it doesn't work on the libva mesa driver on like Intel hardware, or like for me on my Intel laptop, if it doesn't work with this, then I'll install the Intel driver and then it should work. Now, as we all know, when you use Arch, you do have access to the AUR, which is probably one of like the most biggest community maintained repositories in the Linux ecosystem, you could say. And one of the problems, I wouldn't say it's a problem necessarily, but for some people who don't have powerful hardware, you do have to build these packages from the Git, either GitLab or GitHub or wherever it's from. And so that can take a while on some people's hardware. So one of the solutions is to use the chaotic AUR. And I've been using this for the past week on EndeavourOS on my main desktop, and I haven't had really any issues. I don't use it that much. I only use it for Yuzu because I want to use Yuzu early access build, and I know like that's available in the chaotic AUR. So if you go to the aur.chaotic.cx website, you can set up the chaotic AUR by adding these keys first. So we want to do sudo, and then we just want to paste this, and these are just the GP, this is called GPG keys. So when this gets added, then basically when you install like applications and such, you know, you'll be able to actually like allowed to actually install those applications from these repositories because they are trusted. So we want to add this one as well, and just do them one by one just to make sure that you don't muck anything up. So after you add the keys, we want to go to /etc/pacman.conf, and what this basically is a config file for your, you know, what repositories you want Arch to use when it goes through doing like updates or installing a particular package. So you can like switch these to like the test repositories of Arch, or enable KDE unstable repo if you want to test the latest KDE Plasma updates, which is what I did for the past like week. I was using Plasma 6, and it was pretty a little bit buggy, and there was a couple little crashes here and there. But you know, this is where you want to add the chaotic AUR to this list, and basically you want to add this. I add this to the bottom because it seems like the packages that I use, they don't really need priority over the other packages on my system. But let's say you use some particular drivers from the chaotic AUR, then you probably want to place it above like core or extra, because core might try and overwrite that driver that you're using from the chaotic AUR. But for me, I'm not, you know, using any type of like experimental drivers or anything like that. So you just want to copy this here, and then you want to paste it in here, and then probably add some spaces to make it look a bit more, you know, laid out properly, so it's not bunched together. And then you just want to save it here, and then you just want to do a yay, that line, capital S, YU, which is the update command on yay, and then it will just update the chaotic AUR, and that's it. So like I said, with the AUR, there's like the biggest repository. That's basically what AUR is like all these like packages that you can grab that are all community maintained. Now this can be pretty sketchy at sometimes because these maintainers may stop maintaining a specific package that you rely on. But it still is like a huge repository full of packages that do get updated a lot. And there is some really good maintainers out there that do maintain packages properly, but it's stuff like, you know, if I want to test the Cosmic desktop, which is what I've been testing on my Arch install, you can just easily grab that from the AUR. You don't have to build it manually. It will just do it all for you. Or like on Cosmic, where you have to enable like a system D thing so that you can actually boot into it for like the time being. So that's one really good thing, is like you can just grab like whatever you need and see if it works. And if it does, which most of the times it will, if it's been updated and you have a look through and like everything seems to be correct, then yeah, you can just install like basically whatever you want on your Arch install. And I feel like that's why so many people use Arch or Arch-based distros like Manjaro or EndeavourOS or Zero Linux or just Arch itself, because there is just, you can grab like whatever you want. You can really just do whatever you want to your your Linux system. So like I said before, with EndeavourOS, it really tries to be a terminal-centric distro where you install all your packages through your terminal. But what you can do is, of course, you can install a GUI package manager. So you can install like Discover if you want to, even though I would recommend that you just grab Flatpak applications on that. And same with pamac, which is what I'm going to show you guys. So you just want to search for yay pamac, and then we can select it from the chaotic AUR, which will choose the no snap version, as that's the one that seems to be maintained the most or gets updated the most. And that's what it basically does. It doesn't include the snap repository. It only includes the AUR and the Flatpak support, so that you can install Flatpak applications. And there we go. It would just be called I think it's called like add and remove software. We can open it, and it is quite a decent store, I would say. It's pretty simple when it comes to showing a package list of different packages that you can install. But if we go here, we can go to preferences and we type in our password. We can enable some third parties. So we can enable the AUR, we can enable the Flatpak repo, check for updates as well. And basically I just use this for Flatpak installs or Flatpak updates. I usually won't use this for updating main system packages, as I've heard that sometimes the store can be a bit flaky and it will like break things, for example. I haven't had that happen to me yet with the times that I have updated through pamac, but just in case, I always do it through the terminal, and I'll just do yay like I did before, SYU capital S, and that will just refresh all the repositories to see if there's any updates, and that will be it. And as you can see here, there is some updates. So probably the last thing that we'll do on this laptop with EndeavourOS being installed is we will install Steam, as it can be a little bit confusing for some people when installing Steam. You might select the wrong packages for Steam. So if you have NVIDIA, you want to select the NVIDIA utils. If you are on AMD and you are using the open source AMD GPU driver, you want to select Vulkan Radeon. You don't want to select VLK, that's AMD's own open source driver. That's like similar to the Windows one, I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, if you are on Intel, you would select Vulkan Intel. So for me, I'm going to choose Vulkan Intel. And then we are going to select the lib32 Vulkan Intel. All right, and as we can see here, Steam is installed and it should be able to launch and update our runtime environment for us and install whatever is required. Now, after you're done installing Steam, you want to go to your download section. Like, of course, if you like sign in and stuff, you want to go to your download section and you want to turn off shader pre-caching. If you're new to Linux, basically shader pre-caching isn't required anymore when it comes to playing games, as NVIDIA and AMD both support, and Intel now, both support GPL for loading shaders, which is the graphics pipeline. And this is just like, it basically loads the shaders before the game starts, or when the game starts, it will start loading shaders for you, and then after it's done, it won't annoy you anymore. So we can disable this, as this isn't required anymore. And then afterwards, you want to go to your compatibility and you want to enable Steam Play for all other titles, and you want to enable the latest Proton version, which is Proton 8.0-5. And then, you know, if you want to grab any other applications that you want, you can either go to pamac if you want like a Flatpak application. So let's say we want like Heroic, for example, for Epic Games, or we want to go for like Bottles, which is another great application for setting up games, or even the greatest game launcher, Lutris. You can definitely either choose the official one from Arch, or you can choose the Flatpak one. Either one really, they both do work. And from my experience, when like I chose like Heroic from the Arch repositories, I'm pretty sure I chose like the Chaotic one. That one had some issues, and that's probably because it's from the Chaotic AUI, and I should have built it instead. But if I use the Flatpak one, this one will probably work perfectly fine. And that's basically it when it comes to setting up EndeavourOS. There's not much else really. If you can install your applications from your terminal, you can install your applications from pamac. Yeah, if you guys liked this video, definitely give it a like. If it if it definitely helped you, definitely subscribe to the channel, as I often will do tutorials like this often. And yeah, thank you to my 2 supporters as well. I really do appreciate it as always, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.